All right, let's get right into it. If you still picture kids' fitness as just, running laps around a gym, you might want to buckle up. These days, what wellness means for kids is getting a total makeover on platforms like YouTube. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that works, using just a little piece of a video from one very popular channel. It all kicks off with these 4 little words from the channel Move with Jojo for Kids. Now think about that. This isn't a coach shouting orders, it's an invitation. My little yogis. Right away, the language creates this vibe of community, of gentle, playful fun. It's setting the stage for something completely different. And yeah, that friendly tone is absolutely on purpose. See, the intro immediately tells us this isn't a workout, it's yoga playtime. Just changing that one word totally shifts the goalpost. It's not a chore you have to get through. It's an experience designed to make you feel good. Now this is where it gets really interesting. This is the promise Jojo makes to the kids watching. And look at the balance here. Of course you have fun poses. That's the physical part, right? Getting strong, getting flexible. But it's given the exact same weight as quiet, gentle breaths. And what's the payoff? Feeling happy, focused, and relaxed. This right here, this is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. And this comparison just spells it out perfectly, doesn't it? Think back to old school PE class. So much of it was about performance, about competition. Who's the fastest? Who's the strongest? But with Jojo's yoga, the entire game has changed. The focus is all internal. It's about joy, about mindfulness. The win isn't about beating someone else. It's about feeling good inside your own skin. Okay, so now we get to the most dominant and honestly kind of strange part of this whole thing. After that super friendly welcome, the session dives headfirst into this long, repetitive countdown. And I'm not kidding, this isn't just a small piece of the activity. For a huge chunk of it, it is the activity. So what you're seeing on the screen right now, that's just one time through. I want you to imagine hearing this exact same countdown, from 20 all the way to 1, not once, not twice, but 12 times in a row. It creates this powerful, almost hypnotic rhythm that just becomes the heartbeat of the whole session. And to put a number on that, we're talking about 240 seconds. That is 4 full minutes dedicated to nothing but counting backward. When you see it laid out like that, you realize, okay, this isn't just filler. This is the entire engine of the experience. So, the big question is, why? So yeah, what is this countdown actually doing? On the surface, it seems almost mindless, so simple, but it's actually a pretty sophisticated little tool, and it's perfectly built for a young audience. Let's break this down. First, it's a pacing tool. I mean, telling a little kid to hold a pose for 20 seconds is pretty abstract, but counting down together with a friendly voice, that's a task with a clear beginning and a clear end. So much easier. Second, it's a focus anchor. A kid's brain is a busy place, right? All those thoughts bouncing around. This steady, predictable count gives their mind one simple thing to latch onto. And third, it secretly becomes a breathing guide. The pace of the counting naturally encourages slow, steady breaths. And boom, now we can connect it all back to that promise from the start. How do you actually get a kid to feel happy, focused, and relaxed? Well, you give them a tool, like this countdown, that physically calms their nervous system, that centers their attention, and guides them through the movement without any kind of pressure to perform. You know, what we're watching here is a perfect, real-world example of this bigger idea called mindful movement. It's not just about the exercise. It's about paying attention to how your body is moving and how it feels while it's moving. And that simple countdown, that's the awareness technique. That's the magic ingredient that connects the body and the mind. So why should we care about one YouTube video? What's the big picture? Well, it matters because it represents this huge, incredibly accessible shift in how we can approach kids' health. It's meeting kids exactly where they are, on screens, and giving them tools for both physical strength and mental resilience. So what are the big takeaways from all this? First, the whole idea of wellness for kids is expanding. It's not just about being physically fit anymore. Mental and emotional health are just as important. Second, digital platforms have basically become the new yoga studio. And maybe the most important takeaway of all is that you don't need some complex, expensive program to teach this. Really simple, repetitive tools like a basic countdown can be unbelievably powerful. And that leaves us with this one last big thought to chew on. As this kind of content gets more and more popular,
more and more sophisticated, are we looking at the actual future of children's wellness? A future where learning to be mindful isn't some separate, boring class, but is woven seamlessly into playtime, one countdown at a time.